back to the Mulberry Book Drop Holidays.
Ooh,
Are you excited?
I like
December.
Yeah. My favorite month.
So the reason I love this time of year
Mm-hmm.
is having my doors open.
Yeah.
I know we've mentioned it before. I hate the air conditioner. So I'm just all about the open doors, the breeze. I love being outside early in the morning. So it's definitely
Porch reading is my favorite. I love sitting on the porch and reading my books.
same.
We're in porch reading season. Whoop.
That's so great. Oh, I love it. Are you ready for the holidays?
No. Am I ready? Am I ever ready? No. The answer to that is no. I'm still waiting to give my niece her gift from last year because I told her that we would take a trip to Build-A-Bear and we still haven't taken the trip.
How sweet.
Because she keeps forgetting, I keep forgetting. She's only at the house every other week and it's just a whole thing.
Okay, well, so this is your reminder to make a date.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's good.
I really need to. Huh. Well,
That's good.
We'll see.
I actually don't feel stressed at all this year. I don't know why.
Nice.
I'm more just like looking forward to, because we haven't quite hit these dates yet, but like I'm looking forward to the kids being off from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I still have to work and stuff, but it's just fun having them around. And I always love like when I come home and they're all like, they're stress-free, right? Which makes me more stress-free. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I know this is like kind of random, but have you ever done like the 5 love languages test?
Yes, but I don't remember what I was. I think I was like a weird mix.
Okay. Well, I kind of am too, but I'm definitely like a quality time person.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of how I, like, I don't really buy gifts a lot because I'm like, no, I would love for us to actually go do something instead.
Well, and that's normally what we try to do is like an experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call it. So like that's even my parents, for instance, sometimes they'll be like, is there anything that the kids need? Or is there something that you guys would want to do together? And so sometimes that's what ends up being the gift. And so that's how we've seen like a off-Broadway show at the Straz or, you know, some of those kind of ticket type things.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's where it comes from. And it started when the kids were really little. And I think, gosh, I don't remember. I feel like we may have had 2 kids at the time, but my aunts, they were just like, well, what? And I'm like, our house is already just filled with stuff. I don't need any more stuff.
Yeah.
And so I had asked for a zoo pass.
Oh.
And so that kind of was like the first gift where like my aunts all went in together and they bought us like a family zoo pass. And then my cousins ended up also getting a zoo pass. And so we would all meet at the zoo together with all of our little kids. And every time we were like moving on to the next thing, we're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got them all. And, you know, and that was sort of, I don't know. I think that was the start of it. I was like, that's more fun. And don't get me wrong. Girl loves a box of Legos. Like I get so excited about like a nice Lego set or, you know, a book that I love that I've always wanted to own or, you know, some of those types of things or like a good board game we can play together. Like you'll always win me over with stuff like that. But I really do love an experience and a memory that we can still think about.
Yeah. Agreed.
Didn't you just get a zoo pass?
I did. We got one right before Halloween.
Okay.
And we went. I'm really excited to actually go for the Christmas.
So next time you go, can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Take a picture of the Komodo dragon babies and let me know how big they are.
Sure.
Okay. Because our pass just expired. So
okay.
I probably will not be going for the Christmas stuff. And I'm curious how big the babies are getting. Okay.
Yeah, when we went, there were a lot of animals that were not in their exhibits.
Okay.
So, yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
I did I think Bethany's actually mentioned this in a past podcast, but they have like a green screen when you walk in, and like their thing was that they would, like, her and her family would take pictures of it in front. And when I tell you, I walked in and I go, there it is. I was like, that's Bethany's backdrop.
Yeah.
And my brother just like stared at me and was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I'll have to pull up pictures. You won't
Did you
get
guys
it.
Not get your pictures done?
No, I tried.
It's so fun.
My brother was like, no. And you know what? My brother was even wearing a green shirt. And I said, but you could just be ahead.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. And I was like, boo.
You know, they'll also do them like when you go in and you're like a whole group. If you say, can you just get me and my niece? Like they'll do.
Well, and I didn't think about that because we were just trying to get everybody in. Because now they have the baby in the stroller and trying to get all that stuff checked. And,
hey, for next time.
Yeah. So I told her, I said, you and I can just come by ourselves.
I mean, you do still have to pay for the photos, so just be forewarned. But I do love my zoo photos.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Sir,
love them.
can I just take a picture of your camera? Thank you.
So I feel like we can actually jump right into everything.
Yeah.
Probably our January episode with the new year, we can give you guys the whole rundown of the holidays in the city of Mulberry. But Sarah and I are both still kind of coming down from the craziness.
Yeah.
So we're just going to enjoy today. And one of the things that we realized recently is even though this is season 4, we have never specifically done an episode where we just talked about holiday titles.
Yeah.
And that was kind of surprising.
Because it's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
I mean, clearly you guys heard last month the fall books. Come on.
So we figured, that might be a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So we are just going to give you guys a couple little ideas if you're looking for something to read real fast as you're sitting by your tree or hanging out with your family and you just want a moment of quiet in a corner, a little something you can pick up and just kind of keep yourself, in the mood for winter.
I do want to tell you guys what I do when I read, like Christmas books or anything that has to do with Christmas or like New Year's. I am a sucker. Go on YouTube, pull up like a fireplace. Oh. And there's like a video that's literally like a Christmas tree, stockings hung up, and then like a fireplace.
Yeah.
And it's a video and it's just Christmas music. And I literally will listen to that or like cozy jazz and like just listen to that as I read.
That's cute.
Because in my Florida home that has no fireplace.
Right.
So my TV is my fireplace.
I am like, we're entering blanket season.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So just like a little cutesy, I can't even think of, I don't know, not hint, but clue. I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's fine. Anyways, sorry. Go.
I think Sarah just malfunctioned, but we're going to keep going. Do you want to kick us off with the first book, Sarah?
Sure. Let me get it together.
I'm there here. She is.
Okay. All right. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. I think that's how you say it. And it's about a 34-year-old Kate Turner who is ready to say bah humbug. And this is actually set in a town in England. And it isn't exactly brimming with prospects. And she has found her fulfillment in her career as a designer and her side job of baking for her old friend Matt. But her best friend signs her up for a dating agency that promises to help singles find love before the holidays. 23 days until Christmas, 12 dates with 12 different men. The odds must finally be in her favor, right? But yet, with each date comes more disastrous than the one before. And the whole town is keeping tabs on her misadventures. My review on that book, I gave it 4 stars. The book made me laugh, cringe from secondhand embarrassment, and fall in love with characters. I love a happy ending. I will probably read that book again this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I gave it 4 stars, but like the more that I think about it, even now a year later, I'm like, oh, I think I might want to read that one again.
Nice.
Why not?
Okay.
So what about you?
So my first one, it's a short one. It's barely 200 pages, but you do have to pay close attention to it or you might miss something.
Okay.
So it's called The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. It is kind of part of a series. So if you've read The Appeal, you'll have an idea of the characters. Okay. But it's told through text, emails, police transcripts. So you really have to pay attention to what is being said and by whom. But kind of like her other books, it's set up purposely for you to solve the mystery.
Oh,
and so can you identify the victim? Can you identify the killer? I found it to be darkly hilarious, and it really was a fun holiday mystery. Yeah, I'm going to keep it simple because I don't want to give anything away.
No, I'm really interested in that.
I liked it.
Oh, I think I want to read that one. Okay. Okay.
What's your next one?
Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. It's a whole series. I actually don't think I've read. I did read one other one, I think, from that series. Fun. It was fun. But it's about Becky who adores Christmas. And it's always the same. Mom and dad hosting, carols playing, mom pretending she made the Christmas pudding, and the next door neighbors coming around for sherry in their terrible festive jumpers. Which I don't think they're terrible, but okay. And now it's even easier with online shopping. If you spend enough, you can get enough for free delivery. And that's where they get you.
That is where they get you.
So this year's looking a little bit different, and her parents are moving, so they ask her to host, and she says, what could possibly go wrong? With sister Jess demanding a vegan turkey, husband Luke determined that he just wants aftershave again, and little Minnie insisting on a very specific picnic hamper. Surely Becky can manage all this, as well as the surprise appearance of an old boyfriend and his pushy new girlfriend whose motives are far from clear. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I would read it again. I don't know. I might. Because now I'm like, oh, do I want to read that one again? Like, I'm just going to end up reading all the books that I read last year. It's fine. But clearly it's not set in America, because there were things that I had to Google actually while I was reading the book, because I was like, I don't know what that is. And then when I did look up what it was, I said, oh, it's like, it was like different wording for clothes. And
like
I was just like,
and stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't she from England? I've read a couple of her books
Yes.
too. I think
And
she's a British author.
And like the jumpers, like I was like, why are these people wearing jumpers? And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I think like sweaters is also what we call them. Because I was like, why are these people wearing jumpers? And it's Christmas time, it's cold. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, keep your American mind to yourself. Anyways, your turn.
Okay, I have a contemporary romance for you.
Okay.
A very merry bromance by Lyssa K. Adams.
Okay.
So this is part of the Bromance book club.
Yeah.
This series is super fun if anyone's interested in it. The first book is about like the one main guy, but you meet all of his friends. And then the next book is kind of about one of the friends and you get to know everybody a little bit better. And the next book's about another friend. So this one follows the country musician character. His name's Colton. And it's got a whole like will they, won't they relationship thing happening. And the woman in that relationship is like a Scrooge type character. She's an attorney. Her name's Gretchen. I read it last year, I think it was, for my Christmas in July read, and I thought it was just really sweet. I do that, guys. It's so nerdy. I read a Christmas in July book.
I think
do you do that?
I think that's phenomenal.
Okay.
I did do that last year, not this year.
I was like, I just gave up a secret about myself. Okay, so I found it to be really sweet, though. It was an easy read, probably one of the more believable storylines in the series, because like all of the people in the series are, super famous athletes and, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of things that happen, I'm like, that doesn't happen to real people, but I'm still going to read this because it's funny and I like it.
Isn't that the whole purpose of contemporary romance?
It really is. And I do suggest the series, though, if you're a contemporary romance lover. Like, they are an entertaining group of friends. They definitely care about each other. They're funny. And the whole premise of the book is, like, these guys just want to learn how to, like, care about their women better.
Yeah.
And they do that by reading romance novels and trying to learn from those novels. And so it's kind of a funny concept, but it's really sweet. And I like the way the author writes them. What's your next one?
My next one is called Love Holly by Emily Stone. And this one was actually recommended to me by a patron that comes in. I will start with this. It made me cry at the very beginning. It's heavier than I would normally like for a Christmas book, but I did enjoy it. I did only give it 3 stars though, just because I was like, man, what a sad story. But a young woman tries to heal a rift in her elderly pen pal's family in time for Christmas, all while falling in love and maybe even reuniting with her own family. And sometimes it takes a stranger to bring you back to yourself. And I like that line. But a car accident tore her family apart, and she's been part of a Lonely Hearts Holiday Letter writing club. And each December, she writes to a stranger who is also spending Christmas alone and receives a letter from another lonely person in return. No letters go unanswered, but this time, there's a response. So it's a good one, but it is definitely more of a book where you are dealing with things maybe possibly like in your family, like, oh, my family's not great and we don't see each other. And so it can be healing for some, but then it also might be a little bit of a trigger for others. So just take that in mind when you are deciding if you want to read it or not. But I did look, and Emily Stone, most of her books are like that. She's taking on a contemporary romance like relationship feel, but also a lot more serious content in the books.
Okay.
So if you're not a fan of that, and if you're looking for cozy contemporary romance, probably not for you. But if you do like that, then I would say give her a shot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The nice thing is with Google these days, you can usually find almost anything you need to know about books. Like if there is a certain thing that you just know for you personally, not right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Sometimes when I go in blind with those books, I go, what?
Yeah.
Maybe shouldn't have done that. It's okay.
Okay. My next one, I'm going to take us back to 2019. When I finally read a Charles Dickens book from cover to cover.
Oh.
I will say this, I had never finished a Charles Dickens book before in my life. I just couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I read A Christmas Carol and I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I rated it 5 stars.
Wow.
That's a lot of stars.
That is a lot of stars.
I know we all know like some version of this story, right? Like we've all watched either Mickey's or the Muppets or something, like we know the story. We know the premise, the idea, and they still keep redoing it. Like they did the one, was it Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds like a year or two ago? They just put out like a whole musical that was streaming like called Spirited or something.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, again, it's just a play
like
on that
Ghost
same
of
story.
Girlfriend's Past.
But like, it's a great holiday story because it's a great reminder of all of these things that we need to try and kind of hang on to sometimes, and the meaning of the season for many of us. And I'll be honest, like I really did enjoy it. You know, the fact that I finished it cover to cover, like it's not a big book. I think it's a book that most of us can relate to. And I really do think it was a pretty great holiday read. And I was shocked. So there you go. Christmas Carol by Dickens.
I don't think I've ever read it.
Yeah.
I haven't. Well, I only have one more book, cause I was like, oh, I guess I haven't read as many as I thought I have, but that's okay. This one's called Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayliss, which is the first one I talked about, the 12 Dates of Christmas. And guess what? A city bookshop owner heads to the English countryside for a holiday reunion only to face her childhood enemy. You got me with bookshop. So Eleanor Noel, Nori for short, is quite content running her second-hand bookshop in London, forever torn between her working-class upbringing and her classmates' extravagant lifestyles at the posh private school she attended on scholarship. She has finally figured out how to keep both at an equal distance. So when two of her oldest friends invite their whole gang to spend the time leading up to their wedding together at the castle near their old school. Sure, let's just go to a castle, guys. She must prepare herself for an emotionally complicated few days. And the reunion brings back fond memories. And also, she has to dodge an ill-advised former fling. And then she falls into the arms of a castle head gardener. And I'll leave it at that. So I did give it 4 stars. And I just enjoyed it.
Okay.
For what it was. I do like her as an author, though.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a complete left turn.
Okay.
Prepare yourself. Okay, so maybe for some of you, you were like, ugh, I can't do the contemporary romance. I can't do the happy ending. I can't do the, and maybe maybe for others of you, you're just like, listen, it's, it's not all about like Christmas trees and menorahs and all of that stuff. Like sometimes it's just about the fact that it's wintertime and snow and you just can't stop seeing Jack Nicholson's face frozen in the snow. The Shining by Stephen King. What? I know, Sarah. I know. I
like it.
Okay. I was going through all of my books and for some reason I kept coming back to this one, and I know it has really like not anything to do with Christmas and there's only like a little snow, whatever, but I really loved this book and I loved it. I have loved the movie for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I own it. I've watched it a million times. It's one of my favorites. But I liked the book even more, and I actually preferred the book ending.
Okay.
And so if you are a person who's like, nope, I need something a little more creepy, a little more out there with just a little bit of snow where maybe it's wintertime, I'm just going to say go ahead and give The Shining a try. And if you've seen the movie, super fun to try and spot the differences. Okay. Because there were a few things when I read it where I was like, I don't think. And then I was like, nope, finish the book first.
Yeah.
And then I went on the big old Google machine and I was like reading articles where it was comparing one and the other and, interviews with Stephen King maybe about how he felt about certain things. And it was super interesting. So if you know the image of Jack Nicholson that I am referring to, then I think maybe you would agree with me that this, kind of like Die Hard, could be a holiday thing.
Okay.
So there you go.
Interesting.
I went out on a limb.
You sure did.
I may have broken a bone. It's totally fine. I'm going to stand by The Shining by Stephen King.
Speaking of Die Hard, I did read that for the first time last year, which is actually called a different title.
Yes.
But we did that for Film Club last year.
And do you believe it is a holiday movie?
I think so, because it takes place at a Christmas party.
It does.
So I'm going to count it. Yeah.
Good for you. That's the correct answer.
Guys, imagine if I had said no. If you said no, I need to know.
Let the debate begin.
Ooh. We'll put up a poll.
It always makes me laugh. There's like, that is definitely like the one movie that I think always gets people when they're like talking about holiday movies and stuff. Yeah. And they're like, well, if you don't believe that Die Hard's a holiday movie, and I'm just like, oh, but it totally is.
I think it is. Yeah. I would agree with that.
This was fun. Thank you for bringing your list.
Yeah. Did you have any more?
No, I'm good.
Oh.
I am good. Okay. Last question though. What are you reading now?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I had to pick a Christmas book because, well, hello. I am currently reading A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra. I don't know if it's Simone. I would say Simone. And it's funny because this is technically the second book in the series. But the fun thing about contemporary romance books is that typically different storylines. So the first book in the series, I only gave it 1 star.
Wow.
And I don't give books 1 star, guys. So I'm really hoping that I enjoy this one more. But I did want to give it a shot.
Sure.
And I did mention it to one of our coworkers this morning that I was reading it. And she goes, oh, that's funny, because she was like, I would never pick up a sequel. And I said, well, contemporary romance is a little bit different. It's usually completely different.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What are you reading?
I'm also reading a holiday book.
Yay!
Go figure. Marley by Jon Clinch. So as you can tell from the title, it's a reimagining of A Christmas Carol. But in this book, Marley and Scrooge meet as boys.
Okay, interesting.
And so, yeah, and I'm super early in.
Yeah.
And for some reason this year, I have found myself wanting to go into books like blind. Mm-hmm. And then when I am reviewing books, I'm trying to stick more to just like a couple of words to describe it, maybe mm-hmm. a little sentence or two to remind myself of something without giving too much away.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a ton to say about it mm-hmm. yet, but maybe by the time this episode drops, probably if you want to know more, you can certainly stop by the library and ask about it. But I'm really looking forward to it. I love the cover. The cover is this like cream color, and it's got the chains going across it, and it just says Marley.
Oh.
And it, like, if you know A Christmas Carol, you're just like, oh, got it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Sarah, where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can see us in the library, at our houses. No, I'm just kidding. Don't come to our houses. That's
Don't come
weird.
to our houses.
Yeah, that's weird. But you can always email us at themulberrylibrary@gmail.com if you have any questions, if you'd like to drop any Christmas books or holiday books that you read or listen to every year, or even some of your favorite holiday movies too. We'd love to hear what those are. And with that,
happy reading, Mulberry.